Hi there, I am the book lady, and I have been to the library and brought you 2 books today that I think you're going to enjoy. But they're very different books. One is more of a story, and the other is, well, it's just fun, and it's fun to think about. So why don't we dig right in? By the way, the book lady brings two books, and we read them and talk about them. And I'm going to start with the longer book. It's good. It's Sam, Bangs, and Moonshine. What? That's a weird title, by Evaline Ness. It's a good book, and the pictures in it, the illustrations, are very different, but I think you're going to like them. So let's just dig into this. Takes place in a home very close to the ocean. It's in a harbor. It's where ships pull in, and they drop stuff off, and they might take stuff, and then they leave. Lots of ships, okay? Here we go. Sam, Bangs, and Moonshine. On a small inlet near a large harbor, there once lived a fisherman's little daughter named Samantha, but always called Sam, who had the reckless habit of lying. Ooh. Not even the sailors home from sea could tell stranger stories than Sam. Not even the ships in the harbor with curious cargoes from giraffes to gerbils claimed more wonders than Sam did. Sam said her mother was a mermaid when everyone knew she was dead. Sam said she had a fierce lion at home and a baby kangaroo. Actually, what she really had was an old wise cat called Bangs. Sam even said that Bangs could talk if and when he wanted to. Sam said this and Sam said that, but whatever Sam said, you could never believe. Even Bangs yawned and shook his head when she said the ragged old rug on the doorstep was a chariot drawn by dragons. Boy, she really does make up a lot of stuff. Early one morning, before Sam's father left in his fishing boat to be gone all day, he hugged Sam hard and said, "Today, for a change, talk real, not moonshine. Moonshine spells trouble." Sam promised. But while she washed the dishes, made the beds, and swept the floor, she wondered what he meant. When she asked Bangs to explain real and moonshine, Bangs jumped up on her shoulder and purred. Moonshine is flummadiddle. Real is the opposite. So Sam decided that Bangs made no sense whatsoever. When the sun made a golden star on the cracked window, Sam knew it was time to expect Thomas. Thomas lived in a tall, grand house on the hill. Thomas had 2 cows in the barn, 25 sheep, a bicycle with a basket, and a jungle gym on the lawn. But most important of all, Thomas believed every word Sam said. Uh-oh. At the same time every day, Thomas rode his bicycle down the hill to Sam's house and begged to see her baby kangaroo. And every day, Sam told Thomas it had just stepped out. She sent Thomas everywhere to find it. She sent him to the tallest trees, where she said it was visiting owls, or perhaps it was up in the old windmill grinding corn for its evening meal. Ooh, Sam. It might be in the lighthouse tower warning ships at sea. Or maybe it's asleep on the sand somewhere, anywhere on the beach. Wherever Sam sent Thomas, he went. He climbed up trees, ran down steps, and scoured the beach, but he never found Sam's baby kangaroo. Gee, I wonder why. While Thomas searched, Sam sat in her chariot and was drawn by dragons to faraway secret worlds. Remember, the little rug at her front door was her chariot. And there's a picture. Do you see the dragons? They're pulling Sam around. Today, when Thomas arrived, Sam said, that baby kangaroo just left to visit my mermaid mother. She lives in a cave behind Blue Rock. Sam watched Thomas race away on his bicycle over the narrow strand that stretched to a massive blue rock in the distance. Then she sat down in her chariot. Bangs came out of the house and sat down beside Sam, with his head turned in the direction of the diminishing Thomas, because as he rides away, he gets smaller and smaller. Bangs said, when the tide comes up, it covers the road to Blue Rock. Tide rises early today. Sam looked at Bangs for a minute. Then she said, pardon me while I go to the moon. Bangs stood up. He stretched his front legs. Then he stretched his back legs. Slowly, he stalked away from Sam toward Blue Rock. Suddenly, Sam had no desire to go to the moon or any place either. She just sat in her chariot and thought about Bangs and Thomas. She was so busy thinking that she was unaware of thick, muddy clouds that blocked out the sun, nor did she hear the menacing rumble of thunder. She was almost knocked off the doorstep when a sudden gust of wind drove torrents of rain against her face. Sam leaped into the house and slammed the door. She went to the window to look at the Blue Rock, but she could see nothing through the gray-ribbed curtain of rain. She wondered where Bangs was. Sam stood there looking at nothing, trying to swallow the lump that rose in her throat. The murky light in the room deepened to black. Sam was still at the window when her father burst into the house. Water streamed from his hat and oozed from his boots. Sam ran to him, screaming, Bangs and Thomas are out on the rock! Blue Rock! Bangs and Thomas! As her father turned quickly and ran out the door, he ordered Sam to stay in the house and pray that the tide hasn't covered the rock. When her father had gone, Sam sat down. She listened to the rain hammer on the tin roof. Then suddenly it stopped. Sam closed her eyes and mouth tight. She waited in the quiet room. Oh, it seemed to her that she waited forever. At last, she heard her father's footsteps outside. She flung open the door and said one word, Bangs! Sam's father shook his head. He was washed away. But I found Thomas on the rock. I brought him back in the boat. He's home now, safe in bed. Can you tell me how all this happened? Sam started to explain, but sobs choked her. She cried so hard that it was a long time before her father understood everything. Finally, Sam's father said, Go to bed now. But before you go to sleep, Sam, tell yourself the difference between real and moonshine. Sam went to her room and crept into bed. With her eyes wide open, she thought about real and moonshine. Moonshine was a mermaid mother, a fierce lion, a chariot drawn by dragons, and certainly a baby kangaroo. It was all flummadiddle, just as Bangs had told her. Or had he told her? Wouldn't her father say that a cat's talking was moonshine? Real was no mother at all. Real was her father and Bangs. And now there wasn't even Bangs. Oh, tears welled up in Sam's eyes again. They ran down into her ears, making a scratching noise. Sam sat up and blew her nose. The scratching was not in her ears. It was at the window. As Sam stared at the black, oblong, two enormous yellow eyes appeared and stared back. Sam sprang from her bed and opened the window. There sat Bangs. Oh, his coat was a sodden mess. That means he was very wet. "Oh, Bangs!" cried Sam as she grabbed and smothered him with kisses. "What happened to you?" In a few words, Bang told her that one moment he was lying on the rock with Thomas, and the next he was lying at the foot of the lighthouse tower a mile away, all done by waves. "Nasty stuff, water," Bangs grumbled as he washed himself from his ears to his feet, 'cause he's all wet with salt water. Sam patted Bangs. Well, at least it's not flummadiddle." She paused. She looked up to see her father standing in the doorway. Look! Bangs is home!" "Hello, Bangs. What's not flummadiddle?" asked Sam's father. "Well, Bangs, and you, and Thomas. Oh, Daddy, I'll always know the difference between real and moonshine now. Bangs and Thomas were almost lost because of moonshine. Bangs told me." "He told you?" questioned Sam's father. Well, he would have if he could talk." Then she added sadly, "I know cats can't talk like people, but I almost believed I did have a baby kangaroo." Her father looked steadily at her. "There's good moonshine and bad moonshine. The important thing," he said, "is to know the difference." He kissed Sam goodnight and left the room. When he'd closed the door, Sam said, "You know, Bangs, well, I might just keep my chariot." This time Bangs did not yawn and shake his head. Instead, he licked her hand. He waited until she got into bed, and then he curled up at her feet and went to sleep. Well, the next morning, Sam opened her eyes to see an incredible thing. Hopping toward her on its hind legs was a small, elegant, large-eyed animal with a long tail like a lion's. Behind it strolled Bangs and her father. "A baby kangaroo! Oh, where did you find it?" "It's not a baby kangaroo," said Sam's father. "It's a gerbil. I found it on an African banana boat in the harbor." "Oh, now Thomas can see a baby kangaroo at last." Woo! Sam's father interrupted her. "Stop the moonshine." "Oh, Sam, call it by its real name." "Anyway, Thomas won't come by today. He's sick in bed with laryngitis. Laryngitis is your throat, and you can't talk. You have to talk like that. He can't even talk. Also, his bicycle got lost in the storm. Sam looked down at the gerbil. Gently, she stroked its head. Without raising her eyes, she said, "Daddy, do you think I should give the gerbil to Thomas?" Sam's father said nothing. Bangs licked his tail. Suddenly, Sam hollered, "Come on, Bangs!" She jumped out of bed and slipped into her shoes. As she grabbed her coat, she picked up the gerbil and ran from the house with Bangs at her heels. Sam did not stop running until she stood at the side of Thomas's bed. Very carefully, she placed the gerbil on Thomas's stomach. The little animal sat straight up on its hind legs and gazed directly at Thomas with its immense round eyes. "What's its name?" wheezed Thomas. "Moonshine," answered Sam, as she gave Bangs a big, wide smile. Do you see that little gerbil? Isn't that a wonderful story? And we learned something about that. You know, it's okay to tell a fib. A fib's kind of like a little lie, if it doesn't hurt someone. But she told Thomas that her mother was living out by Blue Rock and was a mermaid. That was a lie. And she almost lost her friend and her cat. But I think she learned her lesson, don't you? And there's real, and there's moonshine. And she learned that sometimes you got to be real. All right, this is an entirely different book, Outside My Window. And you know, we often look at the cover pages. If you look at these, see all these are postcards and letters from all over the world. That one's from France, and that looks like it might be from India. See, and I wonder why. Linda Ashman wrote this book, and I think it's a lovely book. Jamey Christoph drew the pictures. Let's read this. Just outside my window stands an old magnolia tree, and hidden in its branches is the tree house built for me. What's outside your window? Right outside my window, there are towers all around and lots of tiny people on the sidewalk, way, way down. See, that person lives in the city. I see a winding river and mountains topped with snow. I watch a freight train passing by and hear its whistle blow. That's very different than the city, isn't it? Right outside my window, there are clouds above the plains. I listen as the thunder booms and wait for cooling rains. I look out on the pastry shop, its awnings white and red. The people clutch their coffee cups and wave batons of bread. A baton of bread means, looks like almost a stick. It's a big long loaf of bread. So I would say that's probably somewhere in France. I see a busy boulevard where skinny palm trees sway. Oh, wow. That's somewhere warm. An open gate, adobe walls, the courtyard where we play. Rows of houseboats just like mine tethered to the dock. See, he lives on the water in a houseboat. I think I would guess that might be in Holland. I see a narrow alleyway and hear my neighbors talk. Okay, I see them up there in the window. I look out on a small canal, pink with flowering trees. I watch the ducklings paddle by and feel the morning breeze. Oh, I believe that might be in Japan. A line of brownstone buildings, grown-ups walking fast. Strollers roll, pooches pull, toddlers waddle past. Where is he? There he is. See, each page we can find the child in their window, looking out at what they see. I see my father's garden, his tiny rows of plants. I hear the magpies chatter and watch the poppies dance. I'm going to guess this is somewhere in England because they often call their yard the garden. Just outside my window, seabirds dive and soar. Below them, foamy ocean waves come tumbling toward the shore. Oh, that's fun. And I see her. Now, she's not looking out the window. She's come out. Looking out my window at this hour of the day, the world outside your window seems so far away and different from familiar things I see. My neighbor's house, my little yard, and the old magnolia tree. But in the darkness of the night, after I turn out the light, I look up at the moon we share that shines in windows everywhere. And then, somehow, the world feels small, and you don't seem so far at all. Isn't that so true? Think about it. I want you to go look out your window. See what you see. Maybe you see the ocean. Maybe you see a lake or river. Do you see mountains? If I look out my window, I do not see mountains. I see a tree. And if I look a little harder, I can see the firehouse where the fire trucks live. What do you see out your window? All these windows, they saw such different things. I liked the one, now how would you like to live? Where is that one? Oh, here. I look out on the pastry shop. Do you see the pastry shop? Do you know what that is? That's like a bakery. So you know, not only does she see the pastry shop, but I think she probably smells it. Oh, how would you like to smell that? All day, every day, bread, cookies, cakes, pies, baking. That'd be fun. But I also think it would be fun to live where you see the ocean and the palm trees. Yeah, because you can smell that salt water, but guess what else? You can hear it. You close your eyes and just listen to those waves. Oh, I love that. But we all see different things out our windows. But at night, when everything's dark and there's the moon, doesn't matter where. I could be right here in my house, or you could be miles away from me. we all are looking at the same moon. You know, sometimes I have to go places very early in the morning, and the moon is still out. And when I'm looking at it, I always think, I wonder if my grandchildren can see that moon. I wonder if my friends who live far away can see that moon. Yeah. So I loved this book, and I hope you liked it too. Outside My Window by Linda Ashman. Isn't that a good one? Very different than Sam, Bangs, and Moonshine. But next time you go to bed, look up at that moon and think of all the other people looking at the moon. People far away, they're looking at the moon. And we all see it. I think that's fun to think about. And this was an important book. Whoops! This was an important book because we learned lying can not only get you in trouble, but it can get other people in trouble. Thomas believed everything Sam told him. And that's part of the reason she really liked Thomas, because she knew she could tell him anything and he'd believe it. That's not good. She probably should have been honest with him. And I know it was very hard for her because she didn't have a mother. Her mother had died, and she didn't want to think about that. She wanted to think her mother was still alive, but she was a mermaid in the ocean. I get that. We all get that. Sometimes there are very sad things in our life, and we really don't want to think about it. So we try to make it be something different. But you have to be careful. Yeah. And bottom line is the truth is the way to go. But sometimes it's not the easiest way to go, is it? And her father knew that she was making up stories. And I thought her cat, he just was so wise. And he told her it's flummadiddle. And he warned her to be careful. And her father warned her. But it took a scary lesson. You know, Thomas could have been swept away and we'd never see him again. Fortunately, Sam's father rescued him. Now, he didn't think he had rescued Bangs, but Bangs managed to show up. And I thought it was very sweet that the gerbil, instead of keeping it, she gave that to Thomas. That was a nice thing to do. This is a good book. I liked it a lot, and I hope you did too. This was Sam, Bangs, and Moonshine. And Evaline Ness wrote this book. You know, I get these wonderful books at the library, and I have so much fun there because I pull them all out and look at them. Hey, I hope you will tell your friends to watch The Book Lady, and they can go and watch on YouTube. Yeah, then you can watch it anytime you want. And I promise you, I will bring you 2 good books next time because I'm headed to the library. How about that? And until next time, I'm the Book Lady.